I am presenting a model of the Library Saint-Geneviève. The architect is Henry Lebroust, and the building was finished on February 2, 1851 in Paris, France. I have removed one of the longer walls, the roof, and the wall hiding the staircase on the model for viewing purposes. I used foam pieces as the walls, flying buttresses, columns, stairs, and bookcases. I then added clay to represent the arches. This building was constructed from previous ideas of Abbey Saint-Geneviève, which was entrenched by the 6th century Clovis I. This building uses neoclassical masonry throughout the structure, accompanied with glass windows. Henry designed the library in Neo-Greco style, common in 1850. In 1992, the annex was upgraded to modern architectural style. The library centers its attention on knowledge and expression. The library has not always been dedicated to being the library for the University of Paris. Before Henry's modifications, it was used for many purposes. By the 9th century, the basilica has been transformed into an abbey church. A large monastery had grown up around it, including a scriptorium from the creation of copying text. The first record of the existence of the Saint-Geneviève Library dates from 1831 and mentions the donation of 3 texts to the abbey. The texts created or copied included works of history and literature, as well as theology. However, in the course of the 9th century, the Vikings raided Paris 3 times. The Abbey of Saint-Geneviève was robbed, and the books lost or stolen. The library was gradually reassembled. During 1108 to 1137, the king required the building to be used for reading aloud of scriptures and specified that each monastery have a workshop to produce books and a place to keep them. From 1108 to 1113, the scholar Pete Abelard taught at this abbey school, challenging many aspects of traditional theology and philosophy. Around 1108, the theology school of the Abbey of Saint-Geneviève was joined together with the school of Notre Dame Cathedral and the school of the Royal Palace to form the future University of Paris. The architect chosen for the renovation was Henry Lebroust. Born in 1801, he had studied at the École des Beaux-Arts, where he won the Prix de Rome in 1824 and spent 6 years studying Italian classical and Renaissance architecture. The new library showed the influence of the prevailing academic Beaux-Arts style and influence of Florence and Rome, but in other ways it was original. The base and facade resembled Roman buildings, with simple arched windows and discrete bands of sculpture. The facade, exactly the length of the reading room, and the large windows expressed the function of the building. It was the first public structure to have been fabricated explicitly as a library and was recorded in 1992 as a historical monument in France. It tends to be viewed as a declaration for advancement in architecture. The real structure is 282 feet long and 95 feet wide, with smaller windows lining the lower level and larger windows throughout the upper level. The Ionic columns, arches, and as well as the floor and roof were all made of cast iron. During this time period, railways were built all around Paris. This led to an easy access to cast iron, for that is what is used to build the railways. The ground floor is for storage and holding books. This section is the library, which contains approximately 2 million records. This floor has 14 windows on the longer side of the structure and 4 on the shorter sides. It has exposed steel Ionic columns going down the middle of the room for support. Rows of bookcases are placed in between the columns. In the back middle of the library, a staircase was added as an addition to the building. It was built to protrude outward so that it wouldn't take any space away from the existing rooms. The stairway symbolizes the beginning of a journey in search of knowledge. The visitors go through a space decorated with murals of gardens and forest and pass by a remembrance of famous French scholars and scientists. The top floor is the reading room, which is the whole length of the structure. It is rectangularly designed and has enormous windows on all sides, which comprises 2 lines of cast iron arches. On the perimeter of the room, iron fences isolate the books from the readers, and on the display sit on top of the shelves. This space is used for people to sit and study or enjoy the books from the lower floor. Going down through the middle of the room, exposed cast ionic iron columns hold up the large exposed iron arches. Next to each window, fine buttresses were added for extra support. It was important not to block the windows so that natural light can be let in. On the exterior of the building, stone panels were placed under each window. These panels list 810 acclaimed authors. The building is composed of an iron skeleton with supporting arches that carry barrel vaults of plaster reinforced by iron mesh. The Saint Genevieve Library continues to be an important attribute to architecture and a French symbol to higher education. Anyone is able to visit the library and enjoy its amazing ambiance.